Why isn't living next to grizzly bears in the wild for 13 years the best idea? What might a killer whale dislike? And what do gorillas have to do with it? In this video, I'll ponder answers to these and other questions about human interaction with wild animals. At the end of the video, you'll find out why even a seemingly harmless pony can be dangerous. Enjoy watching. Jungle Fight. I think none of you will argue that crocodiles are real monsters. The largest of them, the saltwater crocodile, can reach up to 20 feet in length and weigh over 2,000 pounds. The others are smaller, but they still instill fear with their powerful jaws and sharp teeth. These predators usually just lie in the water, slightly exposing their nostrils and eyes, basking in the sun. However, like all living creatures on Earth, they need to eat. So, crocodiles regularly go hunting. How do they hunt? Very simply, they stealthily approach their prey and attack. Spotting an antelope or another animal by the shore, the crocodile instantly leaps out and grabs it, snapping its jaws like a trap that's nearly impossible to escape. Then it begins to spin around, tearing the flesh and swallowing huge chunks of meat. Of course, history knows cases when these formidable predators preyed on humans. Moreover, in ancient times, in Madagascar, people were even sacrificed to crocodiles, one young man and one young woman each year. Or consider another interesting fact. In one African tribe, crocodiles served as judges. If the predator didn't eat the accused, they were deemed innocent. Surprisingly, people voluntarily underwent such tests. However, one of the most horrifying instances of a crocodile attack on humans occurred in 1944 in Burma. During World War II, in one of the local battles, British troops forced the Japanese toward the mangrove swamps. Then at night, they heard terrifying screams which continued until morning. When daylight came, the British went to check. It turned out the swamps were filled with crocodiles that attacked and tore apart the people all night. Out of 1,000 soldiers, only 20 survived. So, if you ever find yourself in places where crocodiles live, it's best to stay far from the water. Who knows when one of these toothy predators might leap out? Predators from the movies. Other dangerous creatures live in the water too. Sharks. In 1975, the movie Jaws was released, making its director Steven Spielberg a global celebrity. The film about a giant man-eating shark caused a real frenzy around these marine predators. People started panicking and seeing sharks as a threat, with some even demanding their complete extermination. Both scientists and the filmmakers repeatedly stated that the danger of sharks was greatly exaggerated in the movie. The author of the book Jaws actively debunked myths about these predators. Nevertheless, Spielberg's famous film and other shark-themed works are not entirely removed from reality. For instance, Jaws mentions a real catastrophe. In late July 1945, the cruiser Indianapolis delivered parts of the atomic bomb to a U.S. base on the island of Tinian and headed to the Philippines. A Japanese submarine didn't want to let the enemy transport pass and fired 6 torpedoes, 2 of which hit the target. The cruiser quickly sank. Then, 1,195 crew members ended up in open sea with minimal lifeboats. Over 5 days, the sailors suffered from dehydration, hypothermia, hallucinations, and shark attacks. Initially, sharks ate the dead bodies. Then they started attacking the survivors. According to the survivors, they periodically heard the screams of their comrades being taken by sharks. Afraid of attracting predators, they didn't even open the few canned goods they had. Imagine how terrifying it was. According to various estimates, sharks killed between several dozen and hundreds of sailors. 90 recovered bodies had shark bite marks. In total, 883 people died as a result of the disaster between a shark and a dolphin. And here is a killer whale, an incredible mammal, a very intelligent animal that responds well to training. It seems that trainers have complete mutual understanding with their charges. Even the most dangerous predators obey commands without question. But alas, this is not always the case. And it's understandable. Animals are abused, beaten, and forced into obedience by the harshest methods. So they buy time for revenge. At least, such thoughts involuntarily arise when you think about the terrible death of Dawn Brancheau. This 40-year-old experienced trainer had no idea what awaited her while performing familiar tricks with a killer whale for the audience. Dawn had swum in the pool with her charge many times before, hugging her, feeding her by hand, petting her, and the animal never showed any aggression. But that time something went wrong. The killer whale suddenly grabbed the woman by the hair with its teeth and pulled her down, dragging her underwater. The audience watched in horror as the enraged animal dragged the trainer around the bottom of the pool, literally tearing her apart in minutes. It was later reported that Dawn had broken ribs, a broken spine, and a fractured jaw. Unfortunately, these injuries were incompatible with life. This incident is yet another horrifying reminder that even the closest and longest relationships with wild animals can end in tragedy if utmost caution is not observed. Don't mess with zoo animals. It turns out that wild animals are dangerous not only in the wild, but also in captivity, despite close ties with humans from birth. In Omaha, Nebraska, in the spring of 2015, an unusual incident occurred in a zoo. A little girl, inspired by the sight of a male gorilla, decided to imitate its famous chest beating. As soon as she started copying, the angry predator slammed into the protective glass of its enclosure with full force. It was an attempt to break free and teach a lesson to the daring imitator. Animals, especially powerful ones like gorillas, often beat their chests to demonstrate strength and dominance. Obviously, the gorilla didn't like its behavior being copied. Fortunately, the protective glass held up against the strong impact, but a crack did appear, prompting the zoo staff to urgently evacuate all visitors, including the frightened girl and her parents. After all, it is necessary to remember that animals are not toys, and their behavior and reactions can be unpredictable. King of the beasts. If that little girl had encountered a gorilla in the wild, the outcome would have been very grim. Similarly, it was a grim outcome for the next subjects of my video. In 1898, the British Empire began constructing a railway bridge over the Tsavo River in Kenya. Everything was going according to plan until a pair of lions started attacking and eating the crew members. The workers tried various methods to scare off the predators, but the lions persisted. Eventually, Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson took matters into his own hands and shot both lions. Initially, it was reported that the attacks resulted in 135 deaths, but later research by the Field Museum determined the number of victims to be around 40. The story of the Tsavo lions inspired the 1996 film The Ghost in the Darkness, starring Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. It feels like such a long time ago. Unfortunately, lion attacks on humans still occur today. Recently, in North Carolina's Conservator Center, a powerful predator attacked and killed 22-year-old intern Alexandra Black. Notably, this facility lacked accreditation, which ensures the safety of guests and staff. Striped predators. And what about tigers? Their strength, speed, and hunting skills make them the top of the food chain in the jungle. Of course, there are instances where these magnificent animals become a deadly threat to humans. For example, between 1900 and 1907, a single tiger known as the Champawat tiger killed over 400 people. The attacks began in Nepal, prompting the military to hunt the tiger. However, the hunt was unsuccessful, and the predator crossed the border into India, where it continued its attacks. The Indian government also organized several hunting expeditions, but all failed. Finally, the task was given to the experienced tiger hunter Jim Corbett. After examining the remains of the victims, Corbett suggested that the tiger had started hunting humans after a bullet damaged its teeth, making it difficult to consume larger prey. One careless act by an inexperienced hunter led to hundreds of human lives lost. An incredible twist of fate, isn't it? Experts estimate the tiger killed 436 people, making it the top record holder for human fatalities by a tiger. This fierce predator is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records. The bear. The next animal is equally dangerous, possessi, formidable strength and sharp teeth. Stories of bear attacks on humans are not uncommon, and one of the most well-known is related to Timothy Treadwell. Timothy Treadwell, known as the Grizzly Man, spent 13 years of his life surviving among predators in Alaska. He camped in bear habitats and filmed his encounters with them to raise awareness about environmental pollution. His story and fate were documented in Werner Herzog's film Grizzly Man. You might want to watch it after hearing my tale. However, on October 6, 2003, Treadwell and his girlfriend Amy Huguenard met a tragic end. They were fatally attacked by a grizzly bear. The most horrifying part is that there's an audio recording of the gruesome struggle. If you have a weak heart or are easily impressionable, I don't recommend Googling it. 2 days later, investigators shot 2 bears believed to be responsible for the attack. The bear that allegedly killed the couple was a 28-year-old specimen weighing over half a ton. Another bear. Bears in captivity can be just as dangerous as those in the wild. Zoo workers often fall victim to these formidable predators. For example, in 2003, at the Russian zoo Durov's Corner, trainer Umar Zakirov was unexpectedly attacked by a bear named Dodon. Umar entered the enclosure to feed the 4-legged performer, but as soon as he opened the cage, the bear attacked and mauled him to death. Zakirov's colleagues were nearby and tried to save him, but the bear seemingly smelling blood, went berserk. After killing Zakharov, the bear attacked the others. As a result, trainers Timur Shedov and Vladimir Soshin were seriously injured, but fortunately survived. Do not underestimate predators. They hunt in packs. The wolf may not be as large, but it is still one of the most dangerous predators on our planet, known for its adaptability to various conditions. History is full of examples of wolves posing a threat to both wildlife and humans. For instance, during World War I, an astonishing event occurred. German and Russian soldiers temporarily stopped fighting each other to fend off wolf attacks. During the battle, wolves began attacking wounded soldiers. Instinctively, soldiers from both sides ceased their fighting and focused on repelling the predators, eventually driving them away. Other reports from that year described wolves as such a significant threat that enemies not only ceased fire, but also cooperated. Wolves are dangerous partly because they inhabit almost every part of our planet. From Europe to Asia, from America to Africa. You can find these predators everywhere. Finland is now a calm and safe country. However, in the late 19th century, a trio of wolves terrorized the area near the city of Turku, killing and eating 22 children between 1880 and 1882. The average age of their victims was 6. Their attacks caused such concern that both local and national governments called in Russian and Lithuanian hunters, as well as the army. The wolves claimed their last victim on January 12, 1882, before they were themselves killed. Ponies. And finally, let's talk about ponies. In March 2016, an incident in the Russian city of Volgograd reminded everyone that even seemingly cute animals can have their own hazards, like teeth. At first glance, these small horses with long bangs look harmless, but a sign near the enclosure warned visitors to be cautious. Despite the warning, a visitor allowed her child to enter the enclosure with the pony. The pony, displeased with the close proximity, bit the boy in the groin. The child suffered serious injuries and lost a lot of blood, but was fortunately saved. This incident underscores the importance of following safety rules when interacting with animals, even those that seem harmless. Do not underestimate wild animals. Exercise caution on hikes and when visiting zoos and dolphinariums. Be vigilant even in stables. Animals can be truly unpredictable. If you want a bit more stability in life, we invite you to join our large team. We are actively recruiting announcers, scriptwriters, editors, and creative producers. If you want to try your hand at a creative profession, go to the Telegram bot via the link in the description and fill out the form. Thank you for watching.